Sodargye Ahum Bamjarangara Padma 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 Sodargye Padma Sodargye Ahum Bamjarangara 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 Padma Sadarga 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 Ahum Bamjarangara
Saramahan Zambaba Hombalazo Om Sambara Sambara Bamana Saramahan Zambaba Hombalazo Hai Om Nachalanam Daram Jananandab Kashib Shoti Jana Jibaya Sante Chudan Gindan Papa So Kanab Sham Salab Dakam Kashi Shob Medjab Salaftan Dundu Gonshamber Yawalan Geta Watam Bagan Lagomba Jetira Bachin Tambor Taram Pakata Waladana Simchan Lagon Jabba Wala Yetsaman Zaba Zaravata Waladin Sansan to Beam Jashi Wali Pilava Devara Shab Jala Shansalalom Jam Walavjana Wardana Durjins and Jerezo Gombo Shamba Wala Sayan Japan and Beresalan Kim Yambon Bagajan Davzan Paladurji Parkarela Shantan Orvala Rajan Maya Shamsalalam Tashi Walidim Shanchivus and Wab Yala Shansalador and Chenadim Tashi Serginia Dom John Zayana Kamala and Don Banzo Walivium Another Gems Wamjera Lord and Chenatam Chok Gelajib Shamsala Janam Shote Jelava Chuchan Deep Jelama Gersoang over and be Walibinava Tashilam Jala Shamsala Lord Tamba Chimbo Dim John Chil Mileva Murton and Jelabu in Coraton Pajebo Dala Mimazanam Turjid Arzim Kurlo Dantashala Dam Don Durji Chanaba Wired Churton Jamson and Sasamanis Gela Tashi Pinajit and Joab Jala Shamsala Lord Dachagatam Darashava Sumbal Gatani Varam Seva Kanjani Dotana Wamba Samtana Yerabjan Tashi de la Pans Sobara Janaganda Lami of Janajo Rulamojan and Tajalazin of the soul Jim Jalaba Munam Nave Shova Kanazam Chulabab Janajin Jerajina Morana Diana Mubangawati Mother Sarah Damadana Samya Sabadaya Ma Badrama, Dinza Badrama, Baya Badrama, Buddha Badrima, Buddha Mantupa, Santamana, Banzir, Servakarma, Warana, Bijudana, Badraswana, Morana Daya, Namubangawati, Badr Sarah Jamadana, Tangataya, Arahati, Samuel Sambadaya, Dieta, Banzirima, Banzirima, Dinza Badrama, Baya Banzirima, Buddha Banzirima, Buddha Mantupa, Santamana, Banzir, Servakarma, Warana, Bijudana, Badraswa, Namorana Daya, Namubangawati, Badr Sarah Jamadana, Tangataya, Arahati, Samuel Sambadaya, Dieta, Banzirima, Banzirima, Dinza Badrama, Badrama, Buddha Badrama, Buddha Mandupa, Banzir Sarvakarma, Warana, Bijudana, Banzir So Malisim, Janagan and Jam, Gonan Jeraja, Dalade, Honjim, Zalam Jum, Zalala, Gunama, Mali, Janan Janjaraba. Chumdanam Kurjini, Dara Shasa Solo Dadam Rolam, Tivzim Shera, Niela Jev Zalam Chalam Taina, Chachalam Chorabab, Dav Jelaba, Dev Chalab Chumdan, Shisa Solo Babam Jam Halav Janara Jerbala, Sham Zala. Sadab Joti, Ritinena, Tisma Shabba, my Sangakan, Dagi Mali, the Tatam Jalala, Lidanga Yatawi of Joe. Zambo Shabba, Monument of Dagi, Yelava, Tamjala, Jing on Samanda, Shanga, the Yellow leader, the Pai, Yelava, and Lar of the Shamsala. The Jedana, the Yellow Sargina, Sarjeti, Win Abjibata, Tetarachuana, Maliba, Tamjala, Yelava, the Kamaramo. Tam Mazala Jamsona, Mayanji, and Lagajamsu, Dakanji, Jalavakanji, and the Rabjula Jam, they were of Shabbat, Tamjala, the Capital. Metawatam Bam Chawa, Dambata, Sanyan, Damshi, Dim Chowata, Marmim Chota, Dipu, Dambai, Yalva, the Dalan and Chobrij. Namza Damba, Namdam Chodam, Shima, Panamaram, Yambadam, Korabaka, Papa, Chokanadi, Yalva, the Dalan and Chobrij. Chobagan, Milajacheva, the Jalava, Tamjalayamo, Sampo Sholata, Put of the Jalava, and Lam Shamsalam Chobrij. Docha Jardan, Wangina, Litang, Division, Yeti, the Bada, Jiba, Chiba. Daki Sutra, Shoji Jelava Ganda, Sarji, Ranjil Nam Dalo, Dama, Dan, Roy, and James, so Namakala, the Dark and James of Diana. Ganam Shoji, Teenager Man, Shanchiver and Barasandi, Majani, Bombo, the Daki, Tamjalala, Kolola, Name back or Veracala. Yanganam that on the Kamsala de Dala, Ambro, I can lap and Jean de Vivsher, Calabash and Girl, then Yellow Parayan, Daki, Talmor of Jeras or Veracel. Shamsalavatam, Churcham Shabada, Jesus, Karajan Solavay, gave a Johnson of the Kim Jazab, Tamjal of the Kim Shanj, Sherengo, Shawab Janab, Sonti, Chum, Dandy, Tamjalat, Sapchala, neighbor, Shanjib, Sewa, Chimbonam, Lama, Durjin, Zamba, Chimbona, Daglagon, Shan, Chaban, Purim, Chijawara, Sanji, Nam like Jefferson, Chudam, Shancheva, Sewa, Sola, Division of Jefferson, Shanchaban, Purim, Chijawara, Sanji, Nam like Jefferson, Chudam, Shancheva, Sewa, Sola, Division of Jefferson, Shanchaban, Purim, Chijawara, Sanji, Nam like Jefferson, Chudam, Shancheva, Sewa, Sola, Division of Jefferson, Jeter, Munji, Dev, Shanchibitina, Gelbadam, Shancheva, Same, Nabala, the Darim Janani Batter, Division and Dola, Pantun, Shancheva, Simnam, Kerjajan, Division and the Nam Labala, and Babs and the Labaravje, Jeter, Munji, Dev, Shanchibitina, Gelbadam, Shancheva, Same, Nabala, the Darim Janani Batter, Division and Dola, Pantun, Shancheva, Simnam, Kerjajan, Division and the Nam Labala, and Babs and the Labaravje, Jeter, Munji, Dev, Shanchibitina, Gelbadam. Villa Bala, the Daram Janani Batter, Division and Dola, Pandon Dove, Shanchib Simnam Terjajan, Division and the Nam La Bala, Rembab Jandala, Dati, Datin Diva, Yola, Mayater Bala, Baratov, Terran Sarji, Research, Sanjay Tisa, Dajarat, Tanav the Kitchen, Jari, Tantam Billy, Samandim, Jumilam Sambar in the Lam, Yobar Manjara de Tarabsha, Long Shelter Bomboli. Chatara and Chinning Batara, Division of Jersey, 13, Shanjib Simna Dalaki, Daki, Deram Turbatam Jeff, Shangaram Doa, Deshan Yelatana, Varta, Bin Lamdundu, Uzanaji, Ladan Laman Lazo Gavariji, Shanjib Sim Choram Bochi, Maji, Banamaji, Jeraji, Ibanian Bami Barayan, Koni Konda Beverage. Shanju Love Jolavadan, Sardi Namji, Ozon, the Jelly Namabarish, Shanju San Namdina, and Dutun Tula Gondravision, Gombo in the Gargomba, Simson Namla, and Dimjerisho, Simson and Tamjil of Data, and Jeraji, and do Tamjil Tata, Shanju San Wakanta Serviba, Data Ganjim, Mulamand Barajo, Oma Honja, Dechini Barba, one girl of Jant, the Tonzo. Yeshika, Maja David, Bamiram Jendi, Durjania Mana, Chimbo, Churkana, Durjichu, Jitina Washi, Diji Chossi, by my dear book, or thing I want to run under the sun and the one in the hair. Sama Yeshim Badawara, Dimchon the Puja Pudi Chanted, Mali Jergi, Yelam Torushi, Mam, Chontan of Shadia, Washi, the Tonga, once the Durjewa, and the gates, one, Antonian Bachimbo, Nanyata, Durjeka, Gatisha Samayo, and Germanisong of Jetin comes some good. Was there a Marbon Condi, or like Hava, the Jidam Jerioja, the Bershele, Durji Chakabachim, Butigina, and Mimodrum Dorgim Chosoloja, Durji Chakabachim Boy, not to the Deva Chimbrodum Shilban, I came to the Deva. Karajan and Tarki Convasheva Jimjib Ramjim Tasamawangal Hatsola, Kibi Sorvandi Sushin Jilum, Chontanamodrum, Durgi Watata, Tomalawan the Shepun, Jerusalem, Oma, Honsha, Bichini Berva, one girl of Janta. Yeshika, Maja Devdan, Bamiram Jendi, Durjania Mano, Chimbo, Holland, Churkano, and Tai, Durjichu, Jitina Washi, Fiji Chos, Ramaja book, Kundinga, Wamjera, not the son and once in Herega, Sama Yeshim Badrawara, Dimchon the Puja Pudi Chendi, Mali Jergi, Yelam Torushiliman, Chondan Jadia Washi, the Tonga, once the Durjewa, and the Gates, one, Antonim Bachimbo, Anjana, Durjeka, Gartitra Samayo, and Germelis on Gabjatin comes some good. Was there a Marbon Kundi, 来恰把这激动之流上的白血泪都记着把全部提进呢，南宁我准的kim上的上，都记着这把全部也拿着了对外全部的东西了办，他也见着了这位罗克的真能得结果我写完什么什么，咱们咱什么广告拉走了，给别说完的走心去了，上头能我准的给换他的，同没来换的些不我这个走了嘛，红色的青年白的换个不上的，这东西说都不也是个嘛，这对不对？那白米让人来都今年嘛那我钱不花了，就是个那我们他一都记住，今天的往事提起记着这个白麦也不肯定啊，我别人那这的真能完成的那个，上完也行吧，这话了，点钟都不接不的钱的，买理解给也能超入心里嘛，从他们说的往事的当我个，我们这都是话我这个说，能当年把钱不按你的，都是个一个就这什么用，我们的送个不接定看什么个，我这买不肯定用来吃吧，这些当这要想的白血泪都是吃吧，全部的钱呢，那年我准的给说错了上，都是这把全部也拿出来对外全部都东西来办，他也见不着了这位若可真能得的光我写完什么这个，咱们怎么广告拉走了，给别说完的手心进了，上头能我准的给换他的，他们来换的些本我只为做了，我的那也的那不像咱们把了嘛给死了，东不来也不能去混，我只为你把了嘛中你，只是正过灯看着忙不过来全节就是，那个这不急心结落下来想死了，个人把了嘛死的这不个人怎么接了到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接了到，这不心怪接了走了，说了完的手心接了，身上上面玩起了说了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这不个人怎么接了到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接了到，这不心怪接了走了。身上上面玩起了说了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这不个人怎么接了到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接了到，这不心怪接了走了，说了完的手心接了，身上上面玩起了说了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这不个人怎么接了到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接了到，这不心怪接了走了，说了完的手心接了，身上上面玩起了说了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这不个人怎么接到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接了到，这不心怪接了走了，说了完的手心接了，身上上面玩起了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这不个人怎么接到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接了到，这不心怪接了走了，说了完的手心接了，身上上面玩起了说了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这不个人怎么接到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接到，这心怪接了走了，说了完的手心接了，身上上面玩起了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这不个人怎么接了到，这不认真情不接了，想什么你为不接了到，这心怪接了走了，说了完的手心接了，身上上面玩起了说了300也不认得白当，就当他们我这说了接了都了讲说了完他不听到说刚你不是说是那当文碰他不做了热完的。去当这心片儿的咋的说来呀？见面了当半年的。点钟个，那我们革命的总结见面次了，让他那南客人去真的讲出会，人情的上这半年大晚上，东把从面的客家上给那，谁的见到只能参当，会是了的能去过什么什么都是一些东西，是个一三那是个家乐家乡。是个那年是个得是弄死了那么世界的得是进了换不了吧，也是我是了这位快阳结婚你为皮进了你不能吃这手。刚从江出过去用过上，真把咱们记着心他你嘞，南住的对吧？吃个花素了吧？接不跟人地不得你了钱不了啥了，娘亲钱不，说不得你没让，从你没了门钱不俺家的吧。برکر دارن آسم تو شرم دوای دم باید هیچی جن لب شغن زلالو درجن گوسم کن سولم شل جی نظام شب Minim Bala, Domalanif Sadi, Tomalib, Yanim Julba, Japu, so sort of Sham, Paraptan, so sort or Gavana, Disma Sala, Jisayrango, Zapjan Jachim, Chuchim, Kurlo, Sarab, Shojara Jam, Shepard, Corda, Sola, Jonanam Kartavi, Yeshika, Disman Ponjame, Parabjimolaki, Belashin, Angora, Jim, Jigasuratan, Jarabazeka, Tatana, or Enzola. It is some soap against Jim, quite even though I can love and love it. Chuji Jabu, the Paranif Shilajam, Chuji Jarabe compound operation, Dr. Mendo and good millennium and teaching the Parazon quatanally, Janta in the Redention and Samanji. Now I'm genuinely changing, Chenlin, Dave Jam shows so many cheaper, Yechi the Binyon is or Devana, one jet and Jimbo Manila, Shanchiva, Tiji, James and Zodan, son of Sherbada, Zon, Libet. And yes, Tom Bushka, Leyeshi was there not so good now and Chimbo dancing Tamjalaji, the Batamjala Salaja, Takaba Chimbo Lamje, Yunda Salajan, the Jid, Shermer Dobus, and Umbersam Lama, Tumbachum Dandi, Division Shabada, Chumbaya, the Paradopus, or the Quartier. Tapala, Sherem Salam, Chodur Jefferson, Chewalam, Tumbachum Division Shabbat, Chumbaya, the Paradopus, or the Quartier, Shajat Bala, Sherem Salam, Chodur Jefferson, Chewalam, Tumbachum Dandi Division Shabbat, Chumbaya, the Paradopus. Quartier, Shajat Bala, Sherem Salam, Chodur Jefferson, Chewalam, Tumbachum Dandi Division Shabbat, Chumbaya, the Paradopus. Quartier, Shajat Bala, Sherem Salam, Chodur Jefferson, Chewalam, Tumbachum Dandi Division Shabbat, Chumbaya, the Paradopus, or the Quartier, Shajat Bala, Sherem Salam, Chodur Jefferson, Chewalam, Tumbachum Dandi Division Shabbat, Chumbaya, the Paradopus, or the Quartier, Shajat Bala, Sherem Salam, Chodur Jefferson, Chewalam, Tumbachum Dandi Division Shabbat, Chumbaya, the Paradopus, or the Quartier, Shajat Bala, Sherem Salam, Chodur Jefferson, Chewalam, the money, Mamma, so the money, Mamma. Daido mani mani mamane zo 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 ha mani mani mamane zo mani mani mamane zo mani mani mamane zo mani mani mamane Mani mani mamane zo 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 devara shagba cherke chendra dam gurdang gatse ta jankamanda terje sam chog zambu chendra va tendram konra da son jara sho na me sarvata thanga ta ba yom bakhom khang be sarvata khanga Sabarana Mangangana Kanso Hai Dotana Kandra Dalhamdochi, Reason by me, gentle as Antanagel, Norava Dandala Quato Ponera James, Solam Shoto Samdal Handramazul, Jen Dotana Kandra Dalhamdochi, Reason by me, gentle as Antanagel, Norava Dandala Quato Ponera James, Solam Shoto Samdal Handramazul, Jem Dotana Kandra Dalhamdochi, Reason by me, gentle as Antanagel, Norava Dandala Quato Ponera James, Solam Shoto Samdal Handram Zole Hoi. Gandab Samo Yeshi Tribizal, Yanji Jemo Ekanzajam, Yeshi Ledan Jetin Mamo Som, Solam Chotam Churvit and Limbs, Hoi Gandab Samo Yeshi Tribizal, Yanji Jemo Ekanzajam, Yeshi Ledan Jetin Mamo Som, Solam Chotam Churvit and Limbs, Hoi Gandab Samo Yeshi Tribizal, Yanji Jemo Ekanzajam, Yeshi Ledan Jetin Mamo Som, Solam Chotam Churvit and Limbs, Zolation. 中强几千波啦啦，这把南街的东门前是的，咱当街给了这把地街的金，所罗就都住了为陈林子，是中强几千波啦啦，这把南街的东门前是的，咱当街给了这把地街的金，所罗就都住了为陈林子，是中强几千波啦啦，这把南街的东门前是的，咱当街给了这把地街的金，所罗就都住了为陈林子嘞。咱们这街外全部地里在了地的，咱们咱刚不你做，可是了什么街的基础当今，做了就等这了为真林子。咱们这街外全部地里在了地的，咱们咱刚不你做，可是了什么街的基础当今，做了就等这了为真林子。咱们这街外全部地里在了地的，咱们咱刚不你做。咱们家这基础当今，做了就等这了为真林子来人。爸妈换个观念能透我去，妻子那这个不结不养离婚人，怎么不乖乖的站进？做了就等这为真林子，是爸妈换个观念能透我去，妻子这比结不养离婚人，怎么不乖乖的站进？做了就等这为真林子，是爸妈换个观念能透我去，妻子这比结不养离婚人，怎么不乖乖的站进？做了就等这为真林子了。刚学了站把咱们街讲都不，我这对我人咋办呀？就是讲也不是多的问题，那么的，这个什么都马里年人这不做来呀，可的去跟嘎达的本啊，让他满个也是我的年long，我花的全部都进了，南北接不起，也来不及那诺的半年了。嘎斯兰金子南半着在一起，就起来是个鸡，让了这两我们那么下不你接了中，我的自然们没了出。让那大白见的拉面色，你见了我心上看色家们回来的。也的拉什么呢？见面了盆座，下完了索了完，得问的公见了多半破。你见了我在你上看，三家们回来的也是了吧，也的啦。见面了盆座，下不拉索了完，得问公接了多半不儿。你见了我在你上看，三家们回来的也是了不也的啦。 Gelakana yeshi chimdi vlamada kalawan nyamba lab thoba parasam Jeva ganda ya tabla ma dan jal mil chuje wala lo shila cha sada lam je yondan ravzoni durjim changa kompanyir dhava jon jamdandi gombarab jawala yang lab jam zalalo gamgab lo jub nev jam tanyatara nam tara salavi chanyar tongan jab jana zishra Jeti Kerala Wamandana, Gondaga Jabazar Mari Mantan Dina Jezarava, Rotogan Lava Chim Tarzi and La Jiji, Ayandana Son, Jitra Chitonya Moyan Home Lips, Joda Drums Alaja, Mary Mansalaving Alanya, Chimila Chumzala, Nama, Domni of Jam Sarjim Tarsan, and then leads of Jetty, the work. Chatal Chatam Jenny, Jim Deep, the Loman Salam Jam Hola, the Umar Batana Domar Marabatana Domar Batana Domar Batana Domar Batana Domar Batana Umar Batanado, 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 Umar Batanado. Umar Batanado, Zedanan Cheljin Cherava, Olazaraji, Bdalo, Tamigam and Barab Sarani, Kadam Damju Jean Toba. Lodjur Pope now tell the solo.
Well, today, the oral transmission actually I've already given all of you yesterday. I'd like to address a few things that's related to Larongar. It's not necessary for people outside Larongar to know about this, but because we have oral exams after class, so I would have to address this at the beginning of the class. Recently, our oral exams after class consist different languages such as English, French, Japanese, and so on. Many people have different language skills, and they present their language skills. I myself, I was very happy at the beginning, but slowly I think I lost my curiosity. For those of you who don't want to listen to this part, that's okay, because this is related to people that's inside Larongar. Well, in terms of schedule for next week, we will have 2 classes of Vimalakirti Sutra on Vimalakirti Sutra next week. But we will resume our class in August, mid of August. May 15th and 16th of the Tibetan calendar, we will have Vajrasattva Dharma Assembly inside our academy, which is not open to people outside. Unfortunately, we won't be able to broadcast it either. However, if there's no other incidents, there will be 2 classes on Vimalakirti Sutra next week, next Monday and Tuesdays. Unless there are any special incidents or something that came up, because recently it's quite busy, so the class schedule is quite uncertain yet. This month is April in the Tibetan calendar, which is a good month to accumulate merits. So I will probably have a teaching on vegetarianism to promote being vegetarians. Just something very, very simple. This week, without any special events, we will continue our classes as usual. We'll have 2 more classes for Vimalakirti Sutra. for the first half of the year, and will resume in August if impermanence doesn't dawn on me. If nothing happens to me, then I will continue to teach Vimalakirti Sutra. Even if there's one person listening to Vimalakirti Sutra, I will continue to teach. But I don't think that's possible because people will continue to increase instead of decrease. So I predict that we'll have more people to listen to Vimalakirti Sutra by the end of the class. We may have 100 or 200 classes, but eventually we'll have one day to finish teaching and studying Vimalakirti Sutra. That's the first thing I would like to address. And second thing I would like to address is about the studying of the 5 treaties. In general, I think everyone's doing well. But you still need to continue to work hard. In the second half of the year, we asked people to write a thesis paper. For example, if you're studying Madhyamika this year, I think you should come up with thesis that is creative, that is very much yours, instead of getting all different opinions from here and there. Develop your own opinion in terms of this thesis paper. I read people's writing on the Vimalakirti Sutra and thesis on other treaties. They're doing really well, very good writings. I think people should start with thesis and then oral exams, and then you can start to explore different knowledge on your own. In terms of study, there are 3 aspects, 3 parts that come systematically. That is to talk, to teach, and the second one is to debate. The third one is to write. So I think writing a Shastra is not really included in our curriculum, but for those of you who are capable, I think that's fine if you can do that on your own. There is a magazine that is published in Qinghai province. Now they've already published 144 volumes. They sent me a few Actually, they sent me 2 collections. One is from 2016, 2017. I think it's quite necessary. It's necessary to make collections of writings. During the process of doing such things, you will be benefited from it, and after 10 or 20 years, the benefit to others will also start to manifest. I also am requested by some students who volunteered to transcribe lots of my transcribe all my university teachings. Sometimes I think lots of those teachings are just very verbal and very oral. Maybe they're not that beneficial, but at least they won't be malicious, isn't it? But for lots of those theses, lots of those transcripts actually could be very beneficial too. Some of the Khenpos and Khenmos, they are not really interested in writing thesis. They don't like to write. Some of them, they only like teaching. Some of them, they only like meditation. But I think it's important to write thesis and really important to encourage the students in your class to write thesis papers. This is the second thing I would like to address tonight. The third thing, this is rather exclusive to Laronggar, but I would like to maybe talk about this a little bit. This is about the constructions that's going on inside Laronggar. I know there are many people who are volunteering to manage those construction projects. If you are volunteering on those posts, I think you should be responsible to the project that you manage or the project that you volunteer at. I was at the main road construction yesterday. I was at the construction site yesterday. I was very unpleased about it. We've finished about 3.8 miles of that main road. However, that 3.8 miles of road are completely wasted. The construction of such is completely wasted because the cement stabilizing level is not really firm and not really steady. When I look at the base of that road, even me, who's not a professional in such constructions, I notice the problems happening there because they were supposed to put the gravels that's smooth and the gravels that's rough, so 2 layers over there. I noticed that, me as not a professional constructor noticed that, but how come those volunteers at those posts did not notice the problem? You should know there are trucks coming in from that road, which probably would carry 40 to 50 tons of objects into Laronggar. They can't travel on that road. Maybe that road would maximum carry about 20 tons, not 40 or 50. So I was really unhappy of seeing that. When I asked around who was in charge of it, and nobody actually said they were in charge. How can you stand there not paying attention to such big mistakes? Originally, I didn't want to say anything about it because we're all Vajra brothers and sisters, so I didn't want to say anything about it. But this is related to all people living here. Actually, we've already made a decision that this year we're not building that main road. We're going to do that next year. But when I actually went there, I found out 3.8 miles were already built. If you're at that post, but not paying attention and not being responsible to your duties, then you're just wasting the wealth of the 3 jewels of all the Sangha members. What's the point of doing such volunteer projects then? This year we have many volunteers. At the beginning, those volunteers are quite enthusiastic. But slowly, people lost their enthusiasm they just show up and not really doing much. Actually, I don't really want to talk too much about it. I didn't want to talk about it in such a public place. Just as in our organization, they are not responsible to their post and they just give up halfway through. They are not thinking about what's going to happen next. Those of you who knew the history about the USSR, the Soviet Union, after the deconstruction of the Union, many things happened very similar to this. So you should learn from the history, not letting it repeat on your own job post. There are people who are just at that post, but they're not really caring about this is the project that is beneficial to the Sanghas. This is the project that is for the Sanghas. They're not really responsible. Unfortunately, I have to say all these negative things about Buddhist group. I think either you don't do it, or if you do it, you should be responsible. Your actions should be able to go through the scrutinization of the three jewels. Otherwise, this is not, nothing's going to work. So this is really a wake-up call for volunteers. I wish that you could really pay attention to your responsibilities. I think I'll stop here. Now we'll start our class today. What I said just now, I know there are currently there are people working on it. I don't know what's the result right now. I'm saying this now because I want you to pay attention to what I just said. Let's continue on the Vimalakirti Sutra. Now we are at the second chapter, skillful means. Your own practice or your career of benefiting others or anything in this world. Conducting anything, we have to have skillful means. If we have skillful means, then we can be successful. We can succeed towards our goals. Otherwise, we can't. Without skillful means, even if you can succeed in accomplishing what you want, maybe the result of which is not as as good or as you wish. I think we should have the kind of wisdom of observance. You have to contemplate on whether if you want to do it. And you have to know if you can actually finish it, actually you can complete it well from the beginning all the way till the end. This time, on the teaching of Vimalakirti Sutra, during this study, I hope people who are listening to this class, you can actually apply those teachings into your life, into your own mind stream. Don't just take things in for granted. And if you do so, they're just dead knowledge. They're not vivid knowledge that you own. There are two goals that we can achieve during studying this sutra. One is to tame your own mind stream, and two is that the content that we study is Mahayana Sutra, Mahayana teachings. So you should carry them out into your own actions and into your life. Once you could do that, then you could benefit people. And if you can do that, that becomes the seed of liberation, the seed of Bodhi to society, to sentient beings around you. If you can do anything that benefits them, then it is meaningful. Whatever you do, as long as it's beneficial to others, this society really needs actions that could benefit people around you. Yesterday we talked about how Vimalakirti traveled around to help all sentient beings, to benefit all sentient beings. We also said that Vimalakirti actually used the skillful means to benefit different types of people and taught them very differently. Used his skillful means to attract different groups and used skillful means to help people to understand what the Dharma is. To some group, he used a very honorable status to preach to them, and to some other groups, he preached with a rather equal status to preach to them. In fact, how you preach the Dharma really is very much relevant to who the people you teach to. You should provide either spiritual or physical or material help to different groups. Human beings are merely the combination of spirit or the mind stream and physical body. We do need spiritual help to have joy and happiness. At the same time, we do need that sense of comfort and ease physically as well. For people who only have material goods, it's very difficult for them to actually have profound happiness, although people nowadays tend to mistake that. In some places, the science is quite developed and material is abundant. But are they really happy? Do they really have they really eliminated all their afflictions? Technology and science are the most important things to develop nowadays in every part of the world. However, people who actually have both technology and science and all the materials, are they really happy? Well, you can't say yes to that question. There are people who live in the place where their science and technology are not that developed and they don't have that much abundant material compared to the first group of people. However, they're content with what they have. And then they have a sense of freedom and a sense of happiness in their mind. People all over the world, day and night, they work for their happiness. They work to attain happiness. In fact, not just human beings, but all sentient beings, including earthworms. All sentient beings, every being, are all searching for happiness. But let's contemplate how many out of all these sentient beings actually attain happiness. Have you ever contemplated that? So this happiness is not simply coming from material goods and all these kind of needs. The spiritual happiness could be attained in a very simple way, in fact. That's why we should study and we should use wisdom to really choose the path of happiness for ourselves. Well, let's get into today's teaching, where it talks about Vimalakirti enters into Vimalakirti enters into government administrations. Government administrations such as government offices and courts, jails, everything that's related to jurisdicial departments and so on. Like courts, procurator, and even jails. All of these jurisdicial departments. Do Buddhists really need to go there? We can't simply say no. We can't just reject to relate to those government officials and people who work for the jurisdicial departments and feel that they're not our kind. We can't just simply deny that. In fact, it is important to get involved in those departments as well, such as in English and in Japanese, where the translation of the sentence is government administration. So this kind of administrative works are also quite important for Buddhists to get involved with. What does Vimalakirti do over there? What he does there is to safeguard everyone. How? He safeguards everyone with justice. He helps those people to receive the justified results and let them have or enjoy their happiness. People who study in Mahayana, you should use skillful means to get involved with government officials, to get to know them, to wherever you are, really, different locations, different countries. Maybe you live in a democratic country, then you should also get to know the system and get to know people who work in that system and spread the message of getting along peacefully. In fact, as Buddhists, this is very important. You don't, of course, you don't have to completely blend in with them and change your whole mindset and philosophy to their philosophies. That's not necessary. On the other hand, you don't have to go to the other extreme, that you completely don't want to get involved with them and don't want to get any close to them. What we should do is to combine different knowledges so that we can help different people. It's important to have friendliness towards everyone, including the government officials and administrators, including people in jails and people who who are inmates. It's really important to care for them. It's meaningful. I think for lots of the lay practitioners and teachers, I know there are people who goes to the jail and help the inmates. Those inmates are already punished for what they did, for the wrong deeds they did. In fact, all these inmates, they worry a lot about their family members. They really worry about their children's education. They think about this all the time. So if you could help them to resolve their problems, this is also an act of bodhisattva. Not only Vimalakirti goes to the government administration departments, he also goes into lecture halls. Lecture halls here refers to debate halls or debate places of different heterodox paths. In ancient India, the tradition is if one particular theory or people who hold that particular theory lost the debate, they will become the disciple to the ones who won the debate. So Vimalakirti goes to these kinds of lecture halls and preach the Mahayana Dharma. The lecture halls here are equivalent to symposiums, forums, and different types of events and research events where you can exchange your opinions. People who attend this type of symposium and forums, they have different change of ideas. In fact, people hold different ideas whosoever attends this type of meetings. Which means if Vimalakirti goes to this type of events, he could also promote his opinion. He could also talk about his ideas. And through this type of skillful means, Vimalakirti slowly preached the Dharma, and people attracted by his teaching planted a seed of Mahayana or started learning Mahayana teachings. Unlike nowadays, some of our Khenpos and Khenpos who teaches in the class, they don't really like to hear different opinions. They have very set ideas of what you should do. You should always chant Om Mani Padme Hum, and you should practice your nongzhou, do prostration. That's all you need to do, and the only thing that you need to do. Instead, I think the Dharma teachers, the Khenpos and Khenpos, should also encourage people to promote Mahayana teaching and also benefit beings. Like last year, when I went to the World Youth Buddhist Symposium, someone actually requested me to build an international Buddhist institute. I said that even if it's not this lifetime, but in next lifetime, I will build international Buddhist institute. Nowadays, international is quite overly used. Sometimes we see this 3 stories tall restaurant where it has a big banner that says International Hotel. A couple actually who came from Korea at the time of Jigme Pongsa Rinpoche came to visit, and they spoke in Korean. So at that time, as a good dependent origination, auspicious origination, Pongsa Rinpoche actually called it the International Assembly. They were a couple, a family. Do you remember their names? They used to fight a lot in their language. They used to live around the Samya Tower in Larungar. You can't remember? You have an impression only. Anyone else? No? Yesterday during the oral exam, someone actually gave the oral exam in Japanese, and it sounds kind of similar to Korean to my ears, which reminded me of that couple. Anyhow, we should make aspirations which will lead to good results. Make aspirations to lead people to Mahayana teaching. On top of that, Vimalakirti enters into schools. He inspired the children. The schools such as kindergarten, middle school, universities, their children as well as youth, where he inspired different types of children or people. In fact, 10 years ago, I said that we will promote the traditional culture, Chinese culture, to young people, so that they could have this kind of traditional education. Therefore, nowadays we have this new organization called the Rain Culture Society that promotes the traditional culture. I think we should all work together to help in promoting Buddhism. in promoting in different areas, such as traditional culture teachings. People nowadays tend to be very much on the extremes. Either they only study and don't do anything to benefit beings, or they only benefit beings by different activities, but they don't study at all. I think it's important to get engaged in all these kind of activities, such as get involved with the Ren Culture Society, as well as set life free activities. At the same time, you should also study. So you don't tread on extreme paths. Therefore, I find a solution that is currently working for different classes in Larungar right now, which is you should study, but you don't have to meet all the requirements as the regular classes, because you are very much involved with different organizations such as Ren Culture Society and so on. I know there are people who are very much enthusiastic in activities, in gathering people around and doing things that's benefiting for others. For this type of people, I think you should also adapt or spend some of your time in study. And for people who only study, and I think you should maybe take a little time to different activities to benefit others, so that you can also accumulate merits. Both of them are quite important. In terms of inspiring the children, Prince Siddhartha, when he was young, he asked his teacher 64 questions. And none of his teachers could answer them. I think this is out of his extraordinary wisdom that he accumulated over lifetimes. Although maybe we won't be able to have such smart students, but at least we could have many students who are quite lively and still very smart. On one hand, we should benefit those ones who are really young and who still have a long way ahead of them. And on the other hand, we should also benefit the seniors. The seniors, sometimes they are they can't even speak properly because they don't have many teeth left. What we should do is inspire them to be to have integrity, to be honest. In Western society, they have lots of credit in their words, in their writings. In some of our construction sites, whenever we communicate with those construction workers, they change all the time. They don't really have a sense of integrity, and they're not honest. Lots of Khenpos and Khenmos, they only know how to teach Madhyamika and Buddhist logic in class, but they really don't know how to communicate with this type of people who don't have any sense of honesty. They could change anytime. They could lie anytime. This type of person actually have this kind of habitual patterns only because they don't have a good education. That's why we should inspire to educate and inspire the children. In terms of our volunteers, some of the volunteers at the beginning, they're very much enthusiastic. They could give a long speech just like the President of the United States. And slowly they lost their, actually rather quickly, they lost their enthusiasm, and they just gave up everything all of a sudden without thinking about the consequences. This is also related to the education they received in their childhood. So the kind of people we should educate for the future is the ones who have a rather steady mindset, who are stable and who are honest. That's why we should go into schools and inspire the children. Vimalakirti also enters into the brothels, has such a great lay practitioner, a lay practitioner who are wealthy and have lots of fame, has a family. He also enters into brothels. The rather very special environment in our mundane sense. But for Vimalakirti, he actually doesn't go into brothels because he is degenerated or he's demoralized. That's not the reason. He actually enters into those special environments to the special place that's full of desire, full of greed. He used his skillful means to review the transgression of desire, or transgressions that arise from desire. As in Master Sun Zhao's commentary, there is a story regarding to this verse. That is about this prostitute named Wondrous Golden Light. She's really beautiful, and one day she was offered 50 kilos of gold by a merchant's son, and invited Wondrous Golden Light to a trip to a forest. And at that time, Manjushri realized the Wondrous Golden Light actually is quite matured. The mind stream of Wondrous Golden Light is very much matured to liberation. So Manjushri manifested to a person who wears a golden robe that is really gorgeous. And Wondrous Golden Light is instantly attracted to that golden robe and ditched the merchant's son right away. And she ran to the person who ran to Manjushri and asked him for that beautiful golden robe that he wears. So Manjushri said, "Sure thing, but you have to aspire for bodhicitta first." And Wondrous Golden Light said, "What is bodhicitta?" Manjushri said, "Bodhicitta is no other than your body, because they're both empty." And at that moment, because Wondrous Golden Light, right away she was enlightened. Isn't that wonderful? You can get enlightened so fast. But it is because Wondrous Golden Light actually attained and actually already accumulated lots of merits during the in front of the ancient Buddha of Shakyapa Buddha. So all of those things gathered together, all of those conditions gathered together, and she was enlightened. At that time, after she was enlightened, she went still with the merchant's son into the forest. Soon after she entered the forest, she fell down and died. The merchant's son held her in his arms. Very quickly, her corpse rotted and very quickly became a set of skeleton. And the merchant's son, witnessing the whole process, right away he attained the fruition of forbearance, of non-arising of Dharma. In fact, this whole unfolding of the story is a story of manifestation. First of all, Manjushri manifested into a person with golden robe, and then by that manifestation, he liberated Wondrous Golden Light. And after Wondrous Golden Light attained liberation right on the spot, she manifested her death in the arms of the merchant son. And the merchant son attained liberation. There are different signs of having such having a very deep faith to emptiness. Some of them, they have tears, and sometimes their hair stands up on their necks, and tears gush out for no reason when they hear the teachings on emptiness. And another sign of having deep connection to emptiness is actually recorded in the 400 stanzas on the middle way, where it says, "Whoever doubts about the Buddha said, about that which is hidden, should rely on emptiness and gain conviction in him alone." For those of you who have doubts, I think those of you should study Prajna Paramita, should study Shastras and teachings on emptiness. For those of you who can study those, then you really won't have doubts anymore. This verse is quite important. I think you should memorize it. This verse from 400 stanzas on the middle way. Once I actually memorized it, I actually recited it in one of my Tibetan lectures. One of my lectures in Tibetan. Another one is from the commentary on valid cognition by Vimalakirti, where it says, "By knowing what should be adopted and what is not, that is the cessation of suffering and the suffering, and cessation of suffering and the suffering, and their skillful means, the path and the cause of suffering, Buddha is recognized as one with valid cognition, yet not for his knowing all the trivial matters." Knowing that the Buddha is the one who is with valid cognition is not because he knows all the trivial things that happen that's in the world, but because he knows the Four Noble Truths. He realized the Four Noble Truths. This is also quite an important stanza to memorize. In Tibetan Buddhism, there are many important teachings on studying the logics and at the end understand that the Buddha has valid cognition. Well, from the story of Wondrous Golden Light, we can see lots of people who thinks that brothels are so impure are not necessarily like so, just like Wondrous Golden Light, who actually attained liberation as a prostitute. Nowadays, people tend to think there are people from rather high status even some presidents from different countries, they would go into brothels and they'd be criticized by people because that's in general considered as an action of demoralization. Some would even consider going to casinos and gambling is not as bad as going to brothels. But I would like to also note to you that back at that time, brothels are not necessarily as the same as we have nowadays, like the red light districts nowadays that we have. In fact, back then, brothels tend to be a place for entertainment as well as conversations and discussions. It's rather more culturally back at the time in Eastern culture. Anyhow, Vimalakirti goes to there. The brothels didn't tempt him with the transgressions that derives from desire. He actually liberated beings that's inside brothels. It seems that it's getting warmer here. I don't see anyone with the big capes anymore. All of a sudden, it's summer. I can't wear something too thick, too warm. Maybe today I won't finish the teaching either. But let's slow down. There are people complaining to me, don't say that you can't finish the lesson plan today. But I want to say it. Okay. Vimalakirti actually also goes to bars, pubs and cabarets where it has alcohol. But do they actually, does he actually get drunk like the rest of them? That is not how he... That's actually not his actions. He actually teach them how to be kind and how to be wise and how to have compassion. This over here, it says wine shops. In fact, in Chinese, in some of the commentaries where they actually state it's more like cabarets, where there are dancers, there are singers, or rather nightclubs. If you have a mind to liberate others, he actually has lots of courage. For people over here, the ordained as well as lay practitioners, I think all of you must have taken vows that refrains from alcohol. But after you have certain realizations, certain levels of realizations, I think you should make aspirations to liberate different beings. But of course, if you do go into those places, nobody knows whether if you are actually crazy or you're the ones with the crazy wisdom. If, of course, if you're not at that level, as it is stated in Satyaka near Khenpo Sutra, where it actually says that excessive drinking leads to one's carelessness, lack of wisdom, and poor memory of everything in this life. That's all resulted from excessive drinking. And this person will often be criticized by the wise ones. The Buddha also said, you should not drink even a droplet of alcohol. If you do, you're not my disciple. That's stated by the Buddha. But as realized masters, as Ati masters, there are people who actually use alcohol as a way to remind them of the realized state. I remember Khenpo Rinpoche, in terms of talking about alcohol, of course he was criticized by lots of people. He was criticized by Theravada practitioners and many people because of his wild actions. But lots of the hippies back then in the West were tamed by Khenpo Rinpoche, and those hippies were not tamed by the Theravada practitioners. Once Khenpo Rinpoche said to his hippie students that, why don't you bring your bags of marijuana and we'll party together? And everyone was very happy. Everyone wants to attend the party that's hosted by their guru. So on the day of the party, everyone took out their marijuana bags, and Khenpo Rinpoche took their marijuana bags and started to throw them into the fireplace and said, this is our self-grasping, this is our self-cherishment, and threw all of their bags of marijuana into the fire. Some of them were happy, and some of them were stunned, and some of them were not too happy about the waste of their marijuana. There are people who carry different actions, who have different conducts, but you don't know their realization, their levels of realization. Through their different actions, they can benefit so many different beings. If you really don't have any graspings, if you feel that you can go to the special places, use different and special methods to help special beings, then that's wonderful. But be cautious, because that could be very dangerous. Because if you don't have the steady, stable, right mindfulness, then you could be easily turned the other way around. Also, Vimalakirti was with the elders. The elders here actually refers to merchants. So when he is among the elders, he is the most honored. The merchants have lots of grasping businessmen. They have grasping towards wealth. So to these type of people, Vimalakirti taught them the transcendent Dharma. I know some people who I know some masters, when teaching the businessman, they would teach them how to accumulate merit in this mundane world. But not Vimalakirti, because he has such a good relationship with merchants, he actually teach them the transcendent Dharma. When he's with retired scholars, actually it is the patrons, according to different versions. They're not businessmen, but they also are very wealthy, so they're the patrons, lay practitioners to the Dharma. Within this group, Vimalakirti is revered as well. All these patrons, they have hundreds of thousands and hundreds of millions, even billions of wealth. We actually really need the type of people like Vimalakirti who can get along with any type of groups, instead of the ones who only stay within their own group. We need the kind of Buddhist practitioners who can speak to the businessmen, who can speak to the prostitutes, who can talk to the wealthy patrons, who can get along with any groups. So after the studying of Vimalakirti Sutra, can you be less stubborn? Can you be more open and more flexible to in conversing with different groups? That's what you should watch yourself. Whether if you have intrinsically learned those teachings from Vimalakirti Sutra, if you are already immersed with this kind of teaching. We should learn different type of skillful means, because bodhisattvas like such could benefit beings, could actually benefit beings. For this kind of wealthy patrons, they also have lots of attachment towards their money. So for these type of people, Vimalakirti actually taught them how to make offerings, how to give with generosity. Because when you die, you can't take all your wealth with you. So the lesson here is that when you're still alive, have some planning towards your wealth, because you won't carry them with you after you die. As practitioners, you should consider about your livelihood as well, not just about giving everything away so fast. Because nowadays the society changes so fast. You don't know what's going to happen next. Everything is so ephemeral. In Chinese, where it says that in the blink of an eye, thousands of things could have changed. But nowadays, I think in the modern society, in the blink of an eye, millions of things have already changed. So don't be on either extremes. Don't hoard your wealth and don't give up all your wealth right away. You have to plan for your future lives, for your future life, for the rest of your life first as well. Now to the kshatriyas, which are the kings or the rulers of a country, Vimalakirti taught them how to have forbearance, because the rulers are managers or kings who actually receive lots of different feedbacks and different criticisms and different rebellions. For these group of people, if they don't have forbearance, then they could be in lots of suffering. So they should really practice forbearance. In Ashoka Vedana, there's a story about the king Ashoka and his spiritual leader Upagupta. In a small country where there's someone who's building monasteries, but in the other country, the king of that country created lots of obstacles towards this person who were building monastery. And when Ashoka and this person went to Ashoka to complain about this king, Ashoka right away was really angry and he said, "I shall kill him." And at that time, in fact, Ashoka was a really angry king back then, maybe before he met Upagupta. So Upagupta warned him not to get angry, and things could be done in letters, in communication, instead of in killing and anger. So by listening to Upagupta, Ashoka actually wrote a letter to that king and bit his tooth mark on that letter to show that this is a letter from himself. And through this letter, that king actually, the conflict was actually resolved between that king and the person who was building monastery. So it is important to give up anger and practice forbearance. Now, Vimalakirti also went to the Brahmins, and he was the most revered among the Brahmins. And he taught them how to eliminate their arrogance, because Brahmins are the scholars who knows a lot, who are all the Mr. Know-it-all. So Vimalakirti taught them how to eliminate their arrogance. And then Vimalakirti was also the most revered among the ministers, the officials, because the officials, they need to bring justice. So that's what Vimalakirti taught them. He taught them the correct dharma, the right dharma. He was also revered among princes. He taught them loyalty and filiality, and he was the most revered among the palace officials. And he converted all the palace women, because the palace women back then, they have different types of wrong conducts. So he taught the palace women and the palace officials the right way of conduct. So is it correct dharma? What does it say? Okay, so maybe it is. And then He's also the most revered among the common people, the regular citizens. He was also the most honored among them. To all of them, Vimalakirti helped them to generate their merits. I saw a story that's recorded in Kumarjiva's commentary, where it says that a very tall and handsome man riding on a white horse, entering to the city, where he's dressed up in all the rich and jewel-laden jewelries, and he had this beautiful jewel-decorated parasol holding on top of him as well. While everyone else was admiring him, a really poor person was shouting, "This is too bad, too bad, and too bad." So the person riding the horse saying that, "I am so beautifully adorned, but you as dressed as a beggar, how can you say that I'm too bad?" Actually, this poor person said that, "No, I'm not saying that you're too bad. I'm saying this is too bad for me. I must have not accumulated any merits in my past lives, so that's why I look like a wild beast in front of you who dressed in such stunning clothing." So it is quite important to accumulate merits. That's the moral of the story. In the biography of Atisha, his disciple, one of his disciples, is very much into circumambulating the stupa. The disciple said that, well, when I circumambulating the stupa, actually all my body, mind, and speech are all accumulating merits, but when you're studying, only your mind is accumulating merits. There are people who attained liberation by circumambulating statue in India. There are people who attained liberation by circumambulating beautiful monasteries, but you don't have anything in Tibet. So at that time, Juntumpa right away understood what is important. So he circumambulated the stupa every day for at least 3 times. In Tibetan Buddhism, it is quite important to circumambulate holy mountains, monasteries, as well as the physical mandalas, the structure or the construction of physical mandalas. Accumulating merits such as so is quite important in our life. Later, there's also stories of how Vimalakirti liberated beings in heaven realm, but I think we'll do that next time.
Sure. deep Sanjinam, Shojaye, Jitin, Dana, Kamshim, Chaparadir, Kaya, Marshina, Detaram, Niraveram, Samzo, Shanchiveram, Barasandivision, Shojagale, Janama, Janilaba, Deta, Jetirayon, the Baradir, Shanchivishan, Joshua, Jelavada, Sandi, Teacher after Conversation. Shochi Simchana Kanama Janilaba, Deta, Tatan, the middle of the Varajir, do I can Chuchi to Namanam, Temperature Chareva, the Parasho. Shanchivisha Patana, Babsula Jan, do I can take Jiva temperature, Serva Cantam, Shampoo Jivana, Tata, Dana, Raptan, Jamarasho. Jarva can Jisun of Jerative, Zambush by Yonsa, Zopshilajan, Salatamach, Patimile on Tapa, Tata, my name is Jimila Chaparasho. Hayekatan, Latan of Janakala, Javaman Tata, my Kalanam Dine, do I can get Namachasambara, Tamchalakata, Dakin Chutando. Tesham Paralation Larabson, Dev, Shanchibusimna, Namayam Jilma, Jera, Dipa, Ganamaja, Parakirapata, Teta Mali, also Shamvarasho. Letam Yumon, the Jelenam, Le, Trulajan, Jitinido, Namzaya, Chatarapa, Mochima, Chakabavjan, Yala, Namkaratopa, Metarashan, Janga, Juntam, Shonam, Jazambarang, and something other the Shavarashil, Deva, Talando, Kanagolaja, Doa. Tamjalana, Pamperation, Shanchibush by Yonsu, Zopshilajan, Simpson and the Gib Shatam, Temperemji, Zambo Shapatana, Raftanaja, Mam Kalapa, and the Shaparevjer, the Gib Shatam, Somperakam Shulapa, Tetatana, Tatam, Joparasho, Litang, Namatana, Simjija. Shopatatam, Olam of Chitavjel, Dala Pamper and Topo, Dropo, Zambu, Shupar of the Tumbanama, Tetataya, Tata, Chaparasho, Teta, Dakinamaya, Maya, Sardi, Jim, Corvan, Gombo, Naman, Samantha, Daki, Jelavata, Ma, Karapak, and the Mature, Teta, Layam, Chupaja, Cherevje, Jelavanam, Jetambo, Chunzana, John, Shanchupak, and then our Shile, Zambu, Shupa. Number of Joya, Mam, Karabag, and the Juperji. Chapat, Hamjalatayam, Korwana, Sonama Yishi, Tanam of Zalani, Taptan, Share of a Tanzan and Amtarata, Yundan and Kandia, Mazalam Zotajer, Darachitana, Daniel, Janam, De, Jantar, Samdi, Makia, Sardina, Sardi, Wina, Jibala, Shanchip Shepherd, Shocham, Tavarevje. Tetara Mali, Tamchil Shosaya, Chatsaman Junla, Disaman Sanyalige, Sardi, Jamso, Janama Jamsota, Karapa Jamsoro Chujan of Temji, Sonchi and Lagajamsu, Dakalaji, Jalavakan, and Laganam Daba, Doa, Kanji, Samba, Chevjanaya, Sardi, Sonla, Tatamji, Previ, Tisamashapa, Jalava, Tamcharatam, Kurlu, Sarnamar of the Koravaye, Teta Kaya, Soya, Mazala, Loye, Topji, Dajan. Tamchiranji Paraya, Kachi, Chiki, Dajanji Parabira, Gayam Karabate, Samantate, Kachi, Chashi, Jina, Jiparabjel, Tisamashapa, May, Sange, Teta, Kachi, Chila, Dakita, Tata, Teta, Kana, Joyala, Yamara, Yerba, Namtara of Jimji, Gaya, Tisamataka, Jankolapa, Teta, Delachitan, Mumbara, Teta, Mali, Shonam, and Tamjalada, Yalava, Daka, Janam, Kolabji, Gaya. Mapshin Jitin, Dunmana, Mapshan, and Baram Tantiam, Kolokor, Yang and the Paratan, Tatan, Gombo, can get on the Damshow. Kandam Yerava, Zanchalato, Namanda, Kani, Goye, Takapot of Dada, Kanda, Yondan of Shopot, Namada, Kanda, Chapa, Shamba, Takato, Kane gave a sonament of Dada, Chapa, Parajerba, Yeshit of a share of a tap down, Tantan of Daki, Shanchabaton, Namayanta, Parabshel. Lady Donamayosa, Tavshadajam, Newmont, Namakandam, Jumper of Shalab, Daketo, Namato Miller of Shadajam, Zambu, Shabutona, Zoparaja, Janama Jamso, number of Tavshadajam, Simpson Jamso, number of Dula, Chunama Jamso of them, Tom Shadaja, Yeshi Jamso of the Toparabshan, Shabba Jamso, number of Tavshadajam, Mulama Jamso, Zoparabshan, Sardi Jamso of them, Shubshadajam, Karapa Jamso, Majo, Japarabja. Kaya di sama shop Yalavaya, Shanchip shop, Molam Shetter, Namazampo, Shanchip Sardine, taken up Daki Malay, Zoperje, Yalavai can get it yet, Hopa, Kangamana, Gandab Zanjip, Kiba de Tanson, Pershap, Sher, Gavan, the Tamjala Raptarango, Litanga Yirjanam, Dagajam, Chupanam, Dagajanam, Yondaba, Moazampo, Kipa Chendava, Timder Tajan de Tanson Peresho. Kanigi was on push up of Sherem, Jawalajina, Molama Japara, Mawa Karapak and Tamajova, Day of Shava Mali, Zoperje, Shanchip Materaji, Yundan, Johnson, Zome, Parasho of Shabat, Melapala, Nature, the Dam Chalava, Tamjalam, Savaraj, Namkim Dartig, Patch, Sambara, Simpson, Malin, Tayan, Division and Day, Chatsamaleta, New Moon, Tajarapa, Daki, Molam and Tayan, the Zamo. Kayam Shoti Janam and Taiba, Renton and Dave Yalavana La Bella, Latama, Devan, Jonamaja, Jangar, Daniela Capara Palavi. Kanga over Japan, the two nave, Shanchivin Choka, Jisera Moshan, Lanchi, Tamian, Talapa, Yelpana, Sonam Tamban, Chotam, Dangero, Kanga Zonshalamonum and the Tabi, Tina, and Son Tamjala Power and Gerret, Tina, Topong and Bapavayan, now I'm tied, they aren't Yeraton. Tetaganya Paranya, they were so much in the Rayan, Tetagala, I can have Zampo, they answered Avara, Tetagaram Puramato, Division and Ger, Summoning about the Panama, Kanga, Maki, one give sheep at the Dave Zampo, Shapan, the Jilanam, near the Malay, also Shavaram Ger, Yeshitan of the Tons and Namada, Ritan Katonam, Dambaram Ger, the Tamartama, put him at Jitanus and Bokanam, Chuparam. Shanchivisham want to the Minero, Sony, Simson and Pamshire, the Shanchivis are Jim Corlor at the Cor, the Namati Tamchi Batam Jalatar, Kaya Zampu Shupum, Molamandam, Chawatan, Tuntamalonaya. Jin Jonjum Jolam, Sonia Mavji, Jawala, Chetram, Chembata, Kanda, Zambu, the Division and Day, Teta, Ganjis, the Love Sharer, gave on the Tala Tamjala Raptarango. This Majapa, Yalavan, Tamjala Jim, Moa, Galam, Chodam, Gabade, Daka gave us Savan, the Canadian, Zambu, Chusher of the Angorage, Tanam Chevi, Tivshala, Japan, Japan, Tamjala, Tanam, Shazate, once a man now I'm tying Tintoni. Deva changes on the Raptando. There's one in a monument that I can't come to the Mali when them Yaravara show a data Mali, the king Osaka. Jitan and Jitan, Simpson and Pamperage. Jelly, Jinkara, Gava, Terapamo, Tamba, and them Ziri. Now I'm tied, Jelly, once a month, long time by am Ducky, the Tover show. In the Ducky, long time up to Vani, Terapama, the Jim Shochan, I'm saying, Simpson, I'm La Bamba, Mamboje, Zambu, Shipum, Molam, Dumbaya, gave a jump of the Kim Chosabat, and drove a Molam, gave an Amakachi, Chicken, Tamjalam, Joversho. Kaya Zambu, Shapan, the Vim, Sonam, and Tide, and back out of the door of Dingle of Chever of Shawanam, or Holami be near a Toperesho. Molam and Japon, the Tonchakers, so I'm tying, do I can lap him to the jack, and the Zambu Jambu, Jean Travati, and son in a Mali, Dear Casamani, Shanlavatan, Chunila, Mandira, Bimbo, Shanlavada, Gindanam of Shalandam, Shanlava James, Jataran, Molamanda Paresho, Tayada, Banzan and Jaya, Awa, Budana, Zoha, Bamid. Garam on the river, what gives him Jimela Banzo, Javla, Sorvand, Tegula Gombus and Lavanya Laji, Taylor Chitan, Liberation, Gilo, Sorta, the Mir, on Salangamilla, and the Verokin, the Pambam Drova, Sasama Yellow, Jamsu, and Niji, Gala of Shinchan, Bobo, Sheep, the Militums run home, and Yam Tapa, now I'm so. Hamo Jibaniam Gerato, don't keep Jibs and Mala, sort of and Divet, Katim and Geradurji, she's the names of the 手间可落去，念着了全员当街上买也单着盘的让的兄弟儿去，家里家的问题起了什么当，特别那种讲子。ويومي للهغسم دين باري منني دوتنا جباقين سنن بارك الرجيل هبا سمدن نرمين زنباين دي بزوجين يمدر يوغاجان تغطب شجب بشاويب جنم جيور تبتنم شغن ترابي ببجاشين